Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Observers World Championship, where we've just seen Todd knocked out from the competition. Good job, Todd.
I've been knocked out from the show, is that it?
Yeah, I've been knocked out.
I've been disqualified from the analysis slash social media
removed,
desk over there.
Never allowed to observe ever again. It's okay, you can walk through the shot, Cassandra and Grubby. Whoa, Grubby's a pro! Wife walks through shot, Grubby doesn't. Good guy, Grubby.
Good guy.
Okay. We're going to try this again, ladies and gents, so just bear with us. We've removed Todd from the machine, so I'm pretty sure that nothing is going to go wrong now. So, Todd, would you like to talk us through Patience versus Grubby, Game 2 on Habitation Station, whilst Kalaris
Be careful around this hotkeys, Kalaris. All right, so Patience is in a situation right now where he has a lot of army supply, but Grubby has more. So the army of Grubby was out of position, so Patience attacked and was able to kill a lot. And what I wanted to show here actually was the workers' loss counts, which don't press the hotkey, man. That went bad for me, which was around 36 for 20. So at this point right now, he's gonna recall out. You can play the replay.
Okay.
And do Control+A very carefully and slowly. And we're gonna see that the army supply right now is heavily favoring Grubby. So Patience is gonna regroup towards this base. He knows that this attack is coming, and this is Grubby's time to make something happen and possibly win the game. Grubby is gonna do a move around the gold where he sends in a few zealots into the golds and places his army to possibly receive the army of his opponent. In the meantime, he has his War Prism trying to do some work to get a feedback on the Mothership Core. He has a Templar in it, I believe. He gets the feedback, as you can see, and he's going to place his War Prism to try and reinforce behind that army of Patience. Patience knows that he needs to be patient, no pun intended. He just needs to get a few more units to be able to hold there. And you see, he's making more and more units. One Templar was dropped here to his death. And Grubby, can you pause here for a second? Grubby was harassing with zealots into the gold base to try and bait Patience out of position. But in the end, he lost Patience himself. I'm sorry, I can't find other words. And he attacked into Patience himself. Because of that, Patience had a better concave. He was able to reinforce, and he held from there. Like right now, it still looks like Grubby's army is bigger, but somehow he's going to lose this fight because of the bad concave and Patience being able to reinforce. Because if you look at the bank as well, Patience has a lot of money.
Does have a lot of cash. Thank you,
I almost
Kalaris.
said he has a lot more patience too, but that was almost enough.
Thank you very much, Kalaris, for the driving of the observing. That's well done. Good job. That's well done. Yeah, very lovely.
Where does he get a cheer? Oh my God.
Kalaris gets a cheer and a clap for decent replaying, so that's all good. It's what? It was bad, apparently, but not as bad as Le Todd. So, moving on.
Yeah, go ahead, move on.
Move on. You were very punny back then. That was good. I like that. It's time now for our second round games of the open bracket number 2. So let's fill you in on the results so far, because there have been quite a few. Our next match, of course, will be Leenock versus Patience. And as you can see, Hyun coming through 2-0, Violet also winning 2-0, and Patience dishing out a 2-0 win over Grubby. And we also saw earlier on, of course, Leenock beating Zoka 2-1. And yes, by the way, it's Zoka, not Soke.
And it's Hyun, not Hyun.
Hyun. Is that French?
I can read Korean.
Oh, okay. Hyun.
Why do you do like...
I don't know. It's just kind of like an involuntary movement or something. Hyun. I think I got it. Oh, hello. You've just been busted by a baneling. Things are starting to go wrong here. It has nothing to do with the alcohol at the bar either.
After breaking Collector's Edition, now you drop the baneling on me?
Hey, I didn't drop the baneling, okay? It fell.
If I didn't catch it, you would drop on me.
Just can't get the staff. He's getting his own back now. So it's time to move on now to more serious business. And it is, of course, time for our second round game, a semi-final of the upper bracket. This time round, it's another couple of fantastic players, Leenock versus Patience. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much. You guys seem to be having a little bit of fun in there. We're quite far away. We'll come and join you soon, don't worry. But for now, Leenock versus Patience. We get to follow Leenock's journey here in the second open bracket. And he goes up against another Protoss player, Patience this time.
Yeah, another really sick ZVP match. I mean, Patience got top 4 at DreamHack last year.
Yes,
been in Europe ever since. And he's been well known to roam the Europe ladder and take a lot of names.
It's good seeing him on camera again. I remember his sweet innocent... He won so many fans at DreamHack Winter with his innocence. Just look at him. Look at him. He's cleaning his glasses because he can't see the screen properly, Red.
You have to see.
But look at that killer nerd. Both very young players. Leenock, of course, just 18 years old, despite having buckets loads of experience. But Patience, 17.
Yeah.
Funny though, Patience, not very long in StarCraft 2, maybe a year and a half now, I think it is, in StarCraft 2. Joined because he's friends with Crater Prime. I think, if I'm correct, they went to the same school together and were friends.
That's a good guy to introduce you to StarCraft, I would have to say.
Yeah, and he taught him how to play, and then he obviously took off on his own, and here he is living in Germany playing for Team Alien Invasion. He got top 4 at DreamHack Winter, the DreamHack Finals of 2013, and here he is looking to make a big name for himself in 2014.
And off to a good start, 2-0 in Grubby.
Yeah.
Looked very, very solid in those games, and can't wait to see what he has to bring to the table in PvZ.
All right, here's a question. If Patience was to win a Premier League in WCS, does he or does he not cry like Duck Duck did?
I don't think he cries.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Duck Duck is an emotional guy. I'm not sure about...
Maybe Patience is too. He seemed kind of emotional. But we'll have to see later on this year because, of course,
he will not. Do you think he'll win a Premier League? You're going to make that statement
No. I didn't say he will. I hope he does well this year. I think he's a really awesome guy.
He's got a chance for sure.
Definitely. He's an awesome player, and hopefully he has a great year this year. He started off really well. Had a good end last year and started off well this year. He's one of the top couple of bar-coded Protoss players at the top of the Grandmaster League, so he's doing well online, as you say. And he started well against Grubby here, and now he goes up against a well-established player in the scene. Of course, Leenock, every single StarCraft fan, or at least if you're not new, know who Leenock is.
Yeah, this is definitely a big test for him. We've seen him dominate a lot of European players. Haven't seen too much of Patience against top Koreans, because he's not played in GSL, he's not played Pro League. So it's going to be interesting to see how he holds up. But playing him on ladder and seeing him do against other players, I think he's definitely top notch. And,
from the games that I had to cast him, and we'll compare sides because we all have our. Well, I had the cast in side story. You've got the playing against him story. At DreamHack Winter, when he was really out there playing on stage and everyone was watching his games, he was very clinical. Very precise. His control was great and his builds were crisp. He didn't really play very many long games, but all the games were very aggressive. They were, some players say, cheesy, but they were very, very well executed. Is that the same style that when you come up against him, he still plays similar?
He's definitely a very clean player, and the build order he executes, he's going to do it almost to perfection. But on the other hand, he's playing Leenock, who's got so much experience.
Yeah, he's ridden the years of Immortal all-ins. And
he's played against people. So many people have tried to all-in him, and so many people have tried to cheese him. He's played on so many big stages.
I think when he won the DreamHack Stockholm Leenock, I think there was a lot of people were trying to play aggressive to him like this, and he stopped all of them. When he was really playing well at that point last year, he wasn't losing to aggressive players. And I think that, as you say, has been one of the things you can highlight about Leenock in his game.
He's definitely very good at those high-pressure situations where he needs to make quick decisions. He always does the right thing. He thinks well on his feet. He's very good at those type of games. And if Patience is going to play that type of game, he's going to have to be really, really strong to beat Leenock.
Well, I guess the map does lean to his favor, because the first map we're going over to, it's Yonsu. It's the map that Leenock did lose against Soke. And we'll see how this is going to unravel now, because we're about ready to load in to the first map of this best of 3 between these two players. Whoever wins this becomes so close to moving on to the main tournament, where the money is unlocked, the WCS points are unlocked. Once you hit the top 16, that's where the real deal, the real players, the real awesome StarCraft's going to come in for these guys. Or should I say the harder level of StarCraft's going to come in. But down here in the bottom left, played the series just now. One against Soke, playing for Yo Flash Wolves. It's Leenock. Yeah. Crowd atmosphere in
here.
Yo
Flash
Wolves. And then up here to the top right, playing for Alien Invasion, living in Germany. Got that top 4 last DreamHack Winter. It's
Patience.
Patience.
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth, Patience.
Oh, I just didn't have the patience to wait for you.
All right. You and Todd are on the same level of funniness today.
The European thing, I guess.
Okay, so before we really get going with this this series, as the opening build's about to be chosen, predictions for this series?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. You know, I think Patient's gonna win 2-1, but I really want Leenock to win. I just feel like the last games we saw, Leenock was very good, very straight up, very solid, but it was standard. Like, it was like the way Leenock would have played a year and a half ago.
Yep.
The same way. Like, everything was good, but it didn't make me feel like Leenock was onto something in ZVP. He kind of died pretty easily to that Immortal in, despite scouting it on Yonsu. And that makes me worry about him. But, of course, it's Leenock, so anything is possible.
All right, well, happy birthday to that guy that did tweet in there. He's enjoying it with you, Castin. You seem to be one of his favorites. So you've made his birthday happy, and I'm happy that you're happy. All right, so we have the hatchery first with the spawning pool follow-up for Leenock, then straight over to the extractor. And his overlord on the other side of the map is going to see that this is not a forge, not a nexus, not a fast second base to be taken. So he knows his opponent is on one base, but look at that. We have a Chrono Boost going into the gateway. We have one Zealot out and another one to follow here. And what is, I mean, the Overlord's seen it. What is the first thing that Leenock's going to be thinking about while seeing that Zealot, obviously knowing that it's being Chrono Boosted out?
Well, I'm not sure about this opening, because I feel like Leenock is going to have the Zerglings in time to deal with this. I feel like this opening is pretty good for Leenock. 2 Zealots is kind of surprising. At the same time, Leenock does have an Overlord at the natural, and he knows there's no Nexus. So he can kind of expect these Zerglings to come. There's 2 Lings on the way. There's a drone at the natural that could be attacked, but not really at the same time. So I feel like this is just a little bit later Nexus for no reason at all. A little bit of pressure.
Unless these Zealots get anything done, then yep, that's what it's going to be, really. 2 Zealots about to join together here. If they run past the couple of units that there are and maybe get themselves into the mineral line and tuck themselves nicely, but then again, the Queens are popping out now. So
Queen and 4 Lings. Well, actually, 2 Zealots might do something here. I hope he doesn't lose any drones. That would be a shame.
Well, let's find out. He's going to wrap around the first Zealot and at least try to. Nice pullback there from Leenock. Doesn't lose a single unit so far, and these Zealots will go back. He does build 6 Lings, but if you think about a regular Zerg, he's kind of building 4 anyway, so he's only built an extra 2 for the extra Zealot. So it's not a bad start here for Leenock.
So now he's got 6 Lings. There's 2 Zealots. He's going to have these 6 Lings from map control. Speed is almost done. And there's no real tech yet from Patient. So this is a pretty good start for Leenock. The third base is going down as well. He's feeling obviously pretty confident, and 2 additional gateways being made. So we'll have to see if Patient actually wants to attack here.
Yeah, and Leenock does spot them immediately here. So if he's able to really read into his opponent's build, knowing that the Chrono Boosted double Zealots were there and that he couldn't really have squeezed out another production facility or tech choice there, he should be able to realize this is obviously the 1 gateway to the Zealots, to the expansion, then double gateways thrown down. The Forge, though, that's something which he will not be able to read into. But that will be something that hopefully you can get some information on later on.
It almost looks like Patient really wants to fake some kind of aggression and make Leenock really worried. Like right now, 8 Lings, boom.
Yeah.
On the way. 10 Lings on the way.
But it's the same old 2 Zealots from the get-go.
And it's only 2 Zealots, and now he's going to get the +1. And if he gets a lot of sentries, he might go for a little bit of a later attack. And then he's maybe hoping that Leenock makes too many Lings and gets a later Roach Warren or something like that. But look at that. The Roach Warren and 2 Evo Chambers are on the way.
Patience is about to take a 3rd base here.
Wow.
Off just a couple of gateways and the +1 attack. This is information that Leenock does not know yet. And Patience is actually moving down south. He's going to lose the first Zealot, but he's actually looking at the 3rd and doesn't actually see anything. Remember, he was playing his own game against Grubby the same time that Leenock was playing against Soke. So, of course, in that game, Leenock did take the 3rd base on the left-hand side here. And I'm sure that's what he must be thinking now. But this 3rd base, which has gone unscouted so far, is going to play a massive factor in this game.
Yeah, this 3rd base is really cool. Like, Leenock still doesn't know, and Leenock is like trying to deal with like the sense of aggression that Patience is putting on him, but he's not really being aggressive at all.
And Leenock's looking at the gases on the natural, and they're not even being mined from yet. So he must be starting to question what the hell's going on.
And he sees all these sentries. It's like, why do you have this many sentries? Do you want to attack me? there's a third Nexus that's almost done already.
And
So
22 more Lings coming in here.
This is a really smart build from Patience. These 30 Lings are not going to accomplish much.
No,
the Nexus is already going to be done.
There's a pylon finish. Like you said, the Nexus is done, so Photon Overcharge is going to be available. He can warp in a couple of units. He's seconds away from having +1 attack as well. He is moving out, though, quite aggressively. This could not work so well for Patience. He's moving forward, playing the image, which he has in this game, and it is really beautiful, as long as he doesn't lose anything.
It looks like a huge sentry attack, but it's really not. So, you know, Leenock is going to deflect this and be like, yeah, I stopped his attack, but then like, oh, there's a third Nexus, like, I'm not even ahead.
Yeah, this is really, really well played out here by Patience. As long as he doesn't lose anything, he's getting the pylon picked off there, and that's fine. I wonder how far he's going to go with these units. He's going to have to recall here, and he does. And he recalls to the third. He still has a Photon Overcharge available. I don't think he lost too much there.
And now I think Leenock knows what's going on. He's going straight to the third base. So it's like, hello.
Yeah.
There's a Nexus.
Leenock does have 1-1 about to complete, though, Red. If he keeps on making units, he could break this down with 1-1, but it's going to be difficult.
He loses another sentry.
He's building 8 more Lings. 10 more Lings. He's going to go for it. I think he's going to try and break this third with just Lings alone.
It's not going to happen, I don't think.
Yeah, but if it doesn't happen, this is a massive investment. 26 additional Lings. The drone count's still at 54 and the probe count's at 58. He has to make it happen.
2 cannons at the natural. The Lings might actually get into the natural. Oh my god. There's 3 sentries there, but they are under attack. He has to hold off these Lings right now.
If Patience holds off on 2 bases, of course on his second base and the third against this assault. Oh, the ramp is open and the Lings get in, and this is going to make things difficult because now attention is going to have to be forced inside the main base, which leaves other areas exposed.
And there's so many more Lings on the way, so if he can keep these Lings in the main base alive and then use his other Lings to get something done, this is really good for Leenock. But
look at the third base as well. Patience is actually hugging the mineral line with his sentries and units to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage there. Beautiful play and positioning. But is he going to take a lot of damage? Oh, the forceful does come in there. And he's deflected the main
natural
base.
now. There's nothing in the natural.
Sentry! The probe, no! The units get in, and Patience, he just needs to hold this game. He needs to stabilize, and he finds himself in a decent position. But the longer he doesn't stabilize, the better position Leenock is finding himself in.
Yeah, Leenock is still making Lings though, and actually the work account, if you look at it, Patience has lost a lot of probes right now.
16, 17, 18 probes have been killed, 19 probes have been killed. And this game went from awesome.
Such a tight rope to walk for Patience. Like losing those 16 probes just barely by leaving a hole in his natural, as opposed to having a sentry and force fielding it and being in an awesome position. Kind of just resets the whole game, and right now I feel like it's pretty even.
And now it's 2-2, and Swarmhost coming in. Swarmhost obviously fantastic against gateway attacks.
Such a fast Hive.
Yeah, what we're seeing coming in. Hive on the way as well here.
Hive off of 4 gases.
Leenock's got a very low supply. If you look at the difference between them, I mean, it's only 102 to 94. It's not much at all, but the upgrades are huge.
I've never seen someone go Hive off of 4 gas geysers. Like, he might have gas for like 1 or 2 Vipers if he goes only Lings from here on out.
Well, this third is going to be under threat here, Rhett, as Patience is going to have to come back. These Lings are still a 1-1 for the time being, but they are a bit of a nuisance. A lot of Spine Crawlers coming in here. And Leenock, through all this aggression, has been able to spot pretty much everything which is going on and identified the build, identified the follow-up, which we should be seeing, or at least should have seen this +2 attack commence, but was slowed down immensely.
+3 is already on the way. Now the gases are being taken on the third base for Patience. So after this crazy start, this might actually stabilize into somewhat of a normalized game from here on out.
Well, surely with these upgrades, he's got to utilize these upgrades. He must be looking at Ultralist here with having 2-2 Lings and nothing for the Swarm Hosts. Sure, the Swarm Hosts are good at deflecting gateway attacks, but he has to be looking at really using those upgrades, which he's invested in.
Also, a Spire on the way, 3-3 on the way.
Yeah, he has to be going for Ultralist here. I would be surprised if he didn't.
Maybe Ultra into Brute Lords or something like that.
Yeah, he has to use this. It's his one big lead in this game is the upgrades is awesome.
This fourth base is super unlikely for Leenock, but still Patience finds it and cancels it.
And Swarmhosts are actually getting over to this right-hand side here. By the way, they do not have Enduring Locust, so they're not massively being committed to here.
It's only 6 of them too. It's almost like he's faking them just to go into Ultras. Like he's hoping like Patience goes like, oh, there's Swarmhost, let me get a lot of Colossus, and then the Ultras just go like...
Well, he has gone over to double robotics facility, but this also can be a double-edged sword, because obviously if he finds out, then Immortal production begins. So he's got to be very, very careful about this. But a beautiful position Patience has found himself in, actually keeping Leenock away from mining on his third base. And this is very important, remember. It's only 3 base versus 3 base. Patience has got a supply lead. He's harassing the drone line.
Yeah. And what do you think Patience is thinking right? Is he thinking Swarm Host or is he thinking this is Ultras?
At the moment, I still think Swarm Hosts.
Yeah.
He has to be.
Yeah, it's Yonsu too. Like, the map is so good for Swarm Host. It's such a beautiful play by
Leenock. And he's got to be
Leenock.
careful because if these Ultras just pop out, then he's going to be in trouble. 8 Corruptors coming.
8 Corruptors.
That's surprising here.
Greater
Didn't
Spire,
expect to see
this
that.
game is crazy.
Didn't expect to see that, especially with the Ultras haven't finished. But Leenock trying to come around here with the Lings, and Patience holding a beautiful position here. This is this must be infuriating for the Zerg.
Yeah, this is so hard. I mean, there's not even any Zealots there. He's got a shit ton of Lings, but he can't really do anything about these Stalkers and these Sentries. And now, even more Force Fields. Wow.
Yeah, and he's a +3 attack, and there's even a Warp Prism going towards the main base we just had a glance of. So this is
But there's the Corruptors.
Well, there's the Corruptors.
The surprise Corruptors that no one was expecting except Leenock.
Yeah, and they deal with the Warp Prism there. So another base is trying to be taken on this right-hand side, and this game is this is a fun one. This is a good one. This is, and
Oh, the Mothership. Oh, this is so dangerous. If he loses this,
the Lings are coming.
If the Lings can come in now and sandwich his army, then Patience would lose so much value right here. He needs to go home immediately.
There's 67 Lings out there with 2-2, but it looks like these Zealots are going to keep them on this left-hand side for now, and he is going to escape with the Sentries. And it is the Greater Spire. So the Greater Spire going to complete now alongside 3-3 melee upgrades.
And there's a double Colossus, which obviously counters Locust and Swarm Hosts. I feel like this is like the biggest meta game that I've watched in recent times.
And another beautiful, abusive position here that Patience has found himself in. And these Zealots obviously fighting against 3-3 Lings now as they just do complete.
They're
but
also
obviously
+3 Zealots though.
Yeah.
Patience done a really good job upgrading himself as well.
And the game continues on. It's, approaching just past the 18-minute mark
and
now.
Right now I'm very scared for Leenock because while all of this was happening, Patience actually established himself on 4 bases and 85 probes.
But Patience doesn't know what he's fighting against. Still, he doesn't really know it's Broodlords. He's got 5 Stalkers. He's got Blink, but he's got 5 Stalkers. He's making Immortals and a bunch of High Templar. I don't really think he knows what he's... I think he's starting to assume that now it's Ultralisks because he's switching his army composition over, but he's about to find out that it's Broodlords here. And these Archons at the back...
are so scary. He's got almost no units.
He's got nothing here. He needs to start warping in some anti-air. And they're going to start dealing a lot of damage. 4 Ultralisks. Good God, Leenock.
What a nice play by Leenock. Like, all his unit transitions just work out really well, where he's like almost always ready for the next
he's got to be
step.
careful. There's a lot of Stalkers being warped in here, and there's only a couple of Broodlords, and they jump right under the first one. Where's the Transfuse? He misses the Transfuse of the Queens underneath it. And no supporting units. This is bad. The Transfuses are coming in for the Broodlords, but there's a lot of units here. One Ultra comes in. The Transfuses are trying to keep these Broodlords alive.
Is he?
And he's just barely going to hold on to these Broodlords in the sky. Oh, this is tense. This is tense, but more Stalkers coming in. 3 Broodlords still there. Stalkers getting picked off. Another wave comes in. They blink forward. And it looks like Leenock's been cracked here. A bit too aggressive with his units.
Patience has too much. Just barely, but he has too much. Like, if that fight goes Leenock's way, he's in a great position.
Yeah, and now it's just Ling Ultra against... +3 Stalkers aren't terrible against Ultralists here. But the double Immortal production and
there's a Warp Prison on Leenock's 3rd base.
Nice move.
Right now, Leenock is getting overwhelmed. Look at the supply. Patience with the insane income. 85 probes as a Protoss. Where do you see that? You don't see that. He was attacking the whole game, got up to 4 base, that many probes, and he's just harassing everywhere. This is amazing.
This has been a good game. Just a good game, a good StarCraft to watch here. And Leenock is dropping quite heavily in supplies. 5 Ultras coming in. Do add to the total 3, that is 8. And that's not bad considering the upgrades.
But
still,
he's running out of steam.
He's running out of steam indeed. There's about to be 5 Immortals.
Yeah.
That's a lot. These Ultras are
I almost feel like Patience was playing like the Zerg this game, and Leenock was playing like the Protoss. It's like the roles totally got reversed.
And now Leenock's down to 120 supply. His base to the bottom right's been killed. His base in the middle's been killed. That Warp Prism's still a threat, as it has not been eliminated. And this has just been a really... I say close, but it's 21 minutes. But every kind of scenario that we've witnessed was very close and could have swung either way.
Yeah. If either fight would have gone a little bit into Leenock's favor, everything would have looked different. This game was like, balancing on a very, very tight rope. And I feel like both players really played amazingly.
And imagine, just remember Patience's position that he was dealing with the Ling runarounds earlier on, and he managed to stabilize and get back up on his feet and back up, establishing himself. And now he's coming in for the victory. And this has been a fantastic game from Patience. And I think we can safely say that he's putting his dominance out there for this tournament. A lot of people may have overlooked him here in the lower bracket, seeing the 3 dominant Zergs, Leenock, Violet, and Hyun. But Patience comes out with an excellent game number 1.
Wow.
And really puts his name out there that he is not to be overlooked in the lower bracket.
It's been a while since I've been that impressed actually by opponents playing. Like he was harassing the whole time, then he held that position at the 3rd base, and you're looking at the screen, you don't realize there's 4 bases up, but he's got 4 bases, he's got them fully saturated. He's got the double robo going on, he's got +3 so fast. Like his build was just so strong with that opening with that faster nexus into like just total domination.
And I think that one thing we absolutely need to highlight here is coming into this, well, look at that actually, it's Deer and Leenock having a couple of words exchanged. I mean, San and sorry, Leenock. What I want to bring to highlight here is Patience, the way we described him coming into this game, was very different to the Patience we just saw. He played at DreamHack Winter, very, very aggressive. He's known for his aggressive play, but that was just solid overall. It was aggressive, but it was solid. He was able to keep, deal well with the pressure he was presented with, and all round just looked like a really, really good player.
If you looked at that game like without any of the names, you would have probably guessed it was either Rain or Deer because it was just really impressive play all around. Like he scouted all the time. He knew what was coming. There was a Swarm host fake. He dealt with it perfectly. Then there was the Brute Lords. He dealt with it perfectly. And just really impressive play by him, really.
Yeah.
Really good. I knew Patience was really good, but to see him play that well, that's crazy.
Yeah, he played really good there. And now Leenock is definitely, he's definitely up against it now and really needs to bring out a 4-time Premier Championship performance here. This is big. And all to think this is still the open bracket, just the open bracket of the Intel Extreme Masters. This is how it's developed, and Intel Extreme Masters over the last couple of years has just skyrocketed when it comes to performance and the players that are attending. And the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne has got to be one of the most stacked tournaments the Intel Extreme Masters has seen. And then you got Katowice around the corner. It's going to be some awesome StarCraft.
That's crazy. If you think about this matchup, it could have been the finals of any major tournament or the quarterfinals or semifinals.
Absolutely, just the open bracket. All right, let's go ahead and introduce these 2 players. So up here at the north side of Heavy Rain, playing for Yo Flash Wolves, it's Leenock. Little do you guys see at home every time I say Yo Flash Wolves.
Yeah, he's like doing the rock sign thing.
Yeah, the rocking.
All gangsta.
The devil horns come out, the Yo Flash Wolves devil horns come out. And down here in the south, it is, of course, Aliens Invasion's Patience, delivering a blinding performance in map number 1. And I hope he can deliver again. That was some really good play.
Seems like all that practice against Stefano on the ladder, it's really paid off for Patience. Just everywhere. He's not afraid of Swarm host. When he sees Swarm host, he's just like, okay, I'm going to take 4 bases, I'm going to attack everywhere, I'm going to get 80 probes,
I'm going to get double
robo,
robo, straight Colossus, get Storm.
You're not going to be able to keep up. Don't make Swarm host against me.
Don't try to do anything against me, because I'm Patience. Win. Alright, Gateway inside the main base here. Soon, eventually into an expansion. I wonder if he'll open up with the double Zealot again.
15 hatch again. So interesting to see that Leenock actually changed up his builds when he played against Sokka. But against Patience, he's just okay with playing the 15 hatch twice.
And he's going to go over and see this hatchery first. Is he going to dedicate a little bit of Chrono Boost, delay his Nexus a little bit into double Zealot here? To try to put some pressure on.
I feel like the double Zealot, when I first saw it, I was like, it's not going to do much. But when you take a really, really fast dirt Nexus behind it, and you seem to you fake so much aggression.
He used them twice. I mean, he used them initially and then came back again with them later and forced more units out
and made 2 gateways at the front, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there's 2 Zealots, there's 2 gateways. If there's a hidden pylon right now, I'm going to be under heavy attack, and then all of a sudden there's a 3rd Nexus. So it's really, really smart opening by Patience.
Yeah, he's not doing that though this time. It's just the Zealot here coming in, and he is going to take the faster Nexus. So A little bit of a change up here from Patience, going from one game to the next, and we should assume that Zealot is cancelled right at the last second there. Squeezes that Nexus in. Interested to see what Patience is going to follow up with now. Is he going to play a more traditional style here? Is he going to go up to the Phoenix? Is he going to go up for the harassment? Does he try to take a faster third base? Because that's still viable once again here. Definitely all eyes on Patience. As definitely 2 eyes going to be Leenock on this map. Definitely needs to focus and really figure out exactly what Patience is going to bring. Second gas taken quite fast, so it's safe to say that we're not going to see any early gateway aggression, that we should be seeing a tech choice, and most likely being that Stargate soon. I'd imagine. It's like, I guess, Stargate to Robo.
Sentry, so a little bit of a safer opening here for Patience, but Leenock is doing the exact same thing with the really faster base. This is probably going to pan out a little bit better for Leenock. He's going to have a better idea what's going on because Patience build is a little bit more normal.
Yeah, that was pretty big in the last game. Yeah. How much information Leenock just simply didn't have for such a long time.
And this map, like we said before, it's a really good swarm host map, so I'm kind of hoping that Leenock is going to go for that style because I feel like...
Seems he doesn't like it though, that's the thing. I mean, it's great, but he doesn't really like to use them. He didn't really use them properly last game. But we do have a forge completed inside the main base here, which is hidden away, and then you've got a couple of gateways here. So it isn't quite traditionally what we would have expected to come out from Patience when we look at how Protoss vs Zerg is usually played here. And with the forge hidden away, a couple of sentries already out, and a couple of gateways. Is this a potential attack? Is this a third base on 3 gateways again with the assistance of that +1 attack to ward off the early aggression?
It really looks like an attack, but it's Patience, so you don't know. It could just be a really fast turn base again. This Overlord is actually coming in.
Oh, tried to squeeze the force field there, and he didn't want to let that Ling in, and now he's going to get full information for once. So he actually goes in, sees the +1 attack, realizes exactly what's going on now. Not exactly in terms of what the follow-up's going on, but realizes exactly what is there presently. But there's extra gateways. So we've got +1 attack on the way, 3 extra gateways on the...
Yeah, so this looks almost the exact same. It's actually going to be a heavy all-in, so it looks like...
Oh, this Overlord to the bottom right, by the way.
Gonna live.
It lives barely. And it's not going to really swing around in time to see this coming. But let's have a look at Leenock's setup. Is Leenock prepared for what we can see on our screen?
Leenock did make the Roach Warren, but it's a little bit later. And it really looks like a third base, but it's not. So this is such smart play by Patience. Like
he's got double probe. I mean, he's got the probe there, looking to take the third. He's actually snuck a probe to the top right here, and this has gone undetected.
Yeah.
And Leenock needs to find that because, well, it depends on how he's... Oh, okay, he's droning. I was going to say it depends on how he's going to play this next stage out. His 1-1 is nowhere near going to be completed with the investment into that double Evo.
But right now, Leenock has to be like, wow, there's no third Nexus? Wow.
Yeah, and he's got double spines coming, and now building Lings. That's not too slow of a reaction from Leenock, but +1 attack is done.
This pylon is so close by Leenock. That's really scary.
If I was to pause the game, and you were Leenock, are you happy in the position you're in?
I'm happy if I start making roaches right now.
But you don't have a roach warren.
He does have a roach warren.
Oh, he does?
He does.
Okay.
But the fact he's making Lings...
Yeah, he's only making Lings.
...makes him think that it's... I think he thinks it's not all in, but here we go. Awesome force fields to begin with. These spines are not finished. These Lings and drones have little of a chance. And this looks like overwhelming numbers by Patience to me.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of money in the bank, so here comes 4 additional Zealots here. The Spines do finish up, and they get a couple of sentry kills at the front. And Leenock is continuing to build Lings. He just needs to hold the front line here. Doesn't really want to allow these Spine crawlers to get picked off.
Yeah, but these Zealots right now are +1 against no upgrades for the Lings right now, so this is a really good fight for Patience. These Spines are helping a lot, though. But it looks like Patience still has enough. This is so close right now.
Look at all those warpings on the right-hand side here. That looks like it's going to be enough. He's going to start to break down the spines. And with the spines being broken, Lings, as you said, are not going to cut it. Queens aren't going to cut it. And Patience cracks the armor of Leenock. Plus, he's cut off 7 of the arms. There's 1 left.
What a sick metagame. What a sick play on game 1.
Yeah, beautiful. Just absolutely... It's not only the mind games of game number 2, it's the added fact of how game number 1 was outplayed as well. Use both and put them together. And here we can see the roaches coming in way too late. There's way too many units now. And this is looking good for Patience.
Yeah.
He's a little bit supply blocked.
These 2 spines look really desperate. I mean, look how many units, how many Protoss units are there? Like, what are you going to do, Leenock? This is...
44 to 25, almost double in his supply. Some awesome force fields once again. And Leenock, is just slapped aside here in the winners bracket of the second open bracket of the day. And all these units are gone, and so is Leenock. Good game called, and Patience 2-0.
What an amazing setup to play game 1 like that. With the double Zealot, faster base, and then game 2, hey, it looks the exact same, but it's actually an all-in, and you're just going to make links. Like, he made all those links to try and cancel Patience's third base, but what he really needed was roaches to deal with the Zealots and the sentries. And I'm really impressed with Patience, actually. It's really good.
And San, of course, narrowly missing out on the opportunity to get top at 16, to play in group stage, losing to MC. And Leenock moves down to the lower bracket now, and it's not easy down there. It is not easy. He will be going up, I think, against the winner of either Tefl or Tarentius. And then, of course, you've already got Grubby down there, you've got Soke down there, you're going to have the loser of Hyun versus Violet down there. Things get very difficult for Leenock.
Yeah, I think Todd's prediction of 1 Protoss, 1 Zerg, with Patience playing like this, it's looking very likely. It's going to be really exciting to see him what he brings against Hyun and Violet, if he's going to do the same thing, because he probably knows that they didn't see the games.
Yeah.
Or if he's got even more tricks on his sleeve, because honestly, this was pretty slick.
He is a trickster.
Yeah, this was really smart.
That was a great series from Patience, and let's hope we see some more good games from him today, and also into the group stages if he's able to make it, of course. But it looks like Red Eye is ready, so take it away.
Thank you very much, gents. Good game there. Of course, that upper bracket now means one man advances on to the upper bracket final. We're checking out the game right now between Hyun and Violet. It's tied at 1-1 right now. We're going to drop you into the game right now so you can see exactly what's going on. Kalaris has been watching this one. Map 1, similar builds, but in the end, Violet had better upgrades and ended up winning. Second map, similar kind of builds again, but Hyun won out, and we're now in map 3. Talk us through it.
Abandoness at the back of his mineral line and make a lot of links whilst Violet was heavily droning, so this is a bit of a bad spot, and GG.
That was good timing, wasn't it? Look at that! It was almost like we scripted it.
In the end, though, like it being 2-1, the first 2 maps were very interesting. Map number 1 was quite cool, both gasless openers, then Violet was unable to see the gasless opener whilst Hyun was able to see that, and a whole flurry of interesting things unfolded with contaminates from Hyun's side of things and trying to hit, but Violet's upgrades were very aggressive in game number 1.
We've had a 2-0 game in the other game right now, Patience and Leenock, but in the same period of time, because they started at exactly the same time. In fact, even a little bit later, we've had 3 games of EZ.
Yeah.
It's just about par for the course, isn't it?
It's done all right. Both the first 2 games, very similar openings, but again, it was information and scouting that really led the victors to the victors of those games. So
good, and we were live in that game, so good observing. Well done.
Thanks.
Wasn't Le Todd-like at all, which is great. Luckily, we didn't have to go back to any pressing of replay keys, so all good here at the Intel Extreme Masters. It is, of course, time to move on to our upper bracket final. We'll also look at the lower bracket as well, so the winner's bracket won't be quite next. It'll be one match. We'll go back down to the lower bracket next with some more games at the Intel Extreme Masters. But just a quick reminder for you as well, not seeing an awful lot of tweets right now in #IEM, and I'd like you to change that for us if you would be kind enough to do so by telling us who you think will win the open bracket number 2. You've got a good chance after the last 2 games, that's for sure. We'll see you after a quick break when we go back to the lower bracket.